How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to be talking about why I'm kind of worried about the DC universe and the DC projects that James Gunn has already talked about. I'm kind of worried now that we've actually gotten to the end of the DC universe, and I will make a video saying what I thought about it. I will be ranking the movies. I'll be doing a lot with that universe because I think that it's very interesting to talk about. I wanted to just take a quick step and talk about the new DC universe, something that is coming up and something to look forward to. I'm kind of nervous about this new DC universe because we've had a few DC projects in the past, and a lot of those movies have worked out really well. We have the Dark Knight movies, we have the old Christopher Reeves movies. Those DC projects have worked out very well, and then when they made it to the DCU, when they actually try to combine stuff and make it all cool, make it all together, it didn't really work out. And the question is why? And I'll be diving deeper into those ideas of why that didn't work out. But since it didn't work out, now we have a brand new project to look forward to, which is the new DC Extended Universe. I think that's what they're going to be calling it, the DCEU. I might be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that one. But we have the... Oh, wait, no, it is the DCU. I pulled up here an article just to get my ideas straight. Really not too bad. But we are starting this new era of DC cinema with Superman, which I obviously always think that Superman is a good way to go, and it's gonna be directed by James Gunn, which I think that he can do this one very fairly simple. He's worked with a lot of space projects. It is a bit different. I, for one, love Man of Steel, and I've rewatched it I think 2 times in the last few months. It's such a great movie, and I think that they do Superman a lot of justice in that movie because they played it very seriously. Obviously, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is what I'm mainly basing my James Gunn opinion off of, looking at superhero movies, I'm mainly basing it off of Guardians of the Galaxy, which are very good movies. I really do like them. Don't come at me in the comments saying that I don't like them, because I will be going into different projects and different stuff that do make me kind of nervous. Superman Legacy, I think it's going to be fine. He's done a lot of space stuff, and he does space very good. The next movie that we have on the list is none other than Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I think that this is going to be another good movie. I don't know if they're coming out in this order. I would change the order, but what I'm looking at and the ideas that I have, they are just right there. I think that Supergirl is a good place to go, but I don't think that it should be one of the beginning places that you go, just because Supergirl was introduced because of Superman, and so that whole entire idea, she's kind of a supporting Kryptonian, and so if you bring 2 Kryptonians in, it might look a bit overdone, especially if you're going for a really similar vibe to that of Superman Legacy. Although Superman Legacy could introduce Supergirl, which that is probably how I would do it. I would introduce Supergirl and then kind of spin her off out of there. It really just depends how the audience goes with Supergirl. But again, Supergirl is a likable character. I really do think that people are going to like her. And then also just because it's a female version of Superman that also has her own story and also has her own interesting takes. I think that it'll be good to get new eyes into the universe because we haven't really seen too much of Supergirl on the big screen. We've seen her in TV shows by obviously Supergirl, which was a good show arguably until a certain point. But I do think that they can do her very right, and I think that they can do justice to her character in this movie. The next movie, which is the first one that makes me very nervous, is Batman, the Brave and the Bold. Batman is a serious movie. It is one that you cannot take lightly. If you've seen Christopher Nolan's movies, you've seen the Michael Keaton's original Batman movies, they're all very serious. Yeah, they have their own sarcastic, gritty humor, but they're all darker movies because that is how you structure a Batman movie. Batman is structured around darkness. That is why the Batman worked very well. because it was structured around darkness and around a grittier, darker take on Batman. I do, however, hear that they're gonna bring in Robin. I think Dick Grayson, to be specific, which I have been calling for this for a while now, for them to actually do an accurate Robin take. And so I hope that in this movie they do an accurate Robin take, funnier, just take on Robin. I hope that they do a serious but funny Robin while having a serious brooding Batman that has to mentor this kid. I think that it can be done right, but I'm just worried for its place in the universe, just since we do have those two Kryptonian projects that are more focused on hope and being a symbol other than being vengeance. That is what Batman is basically all about. And so just makes me a bit nervous to go from two hopeful ones to one dark one. Kind of how they did it in the Snyderverse originally, where they went with Superman and then they try to involve Batman in it. If they can keep them separate originally, I think that can work, because you'll have a darker Superman. No, you'll have a hopeful Superman and then a darker Batman that will then have to join together, and hopefully they make that some type of a learning curve. But we don't see how far they're going to make it in these. We just know what they're going to do right now. The next movie, which is one that I completely disagree with, is Swamp Thing. Obviously, I like Swamp Thing. He's a good character, and I really do enjoy him in the comics and in the animated DC universe. But I do think that bringing in Swamp Thing will discourage some of the newer viewers. I could be completely wrong about this. Comment down below if you disagree with me. But I think it's a character that's not well known enough to have a name to stand on its own. And planning this to be the third movie, I don't know if it's a movie or a TV show. I just know it's a project based on Swamp Thing. I'm very nervous about that, because it is a character not well known. Not that many people, like, it flies under a lot of people's radar. If you think about if you think about DC, you think about the Justice League, maybe even John Constantine. Like, you think about those aspects, you don't really think about Swamp Thing until like the secondary parts of it. So I don't really see why we're introducing Swamp Thing that early into this, just because it might seem kind of filler. And when you're starting a new universe, you don't really want to go with the filler. You see how Marvel did it, how they lined up all of their movies. They had Iron Man. They started with the Hulk, but then they had Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Not filler movies. They had Thor 2, yes, filler movie. But they had some very strong movies introducing these characters, and then they had some filler movies with these characters that we then start to like. And I think that bringing in Swamp Thing is bringing in a filler character to fill a movie position, which I think you could give it to. Aquaman has had a good run. Maybe Green Lantern again, give that one a shot. Shazam is a funny enough character, but I don't think that he's worth enough to have his own movie. But maybe start doing spin-offs from the other ones. That would be my original guess and my original take. But they don't really want to go for that, so I understand that's not what's gonna happen. The next is a movie or a TV show. I think this is still a movie, which is The Authority. It's like the New Mutants for me. It's like, okay, we like the X-Men, we like the Justice League, we like the DC Universe. Who are these guys? That's what mostly bothers me about this. It's just a project for me that isn't gonna be as well received as other projects that we do have coming up. And I think that it's a really filler project. You have, like I said, the New Mutants. That is a project that came out after a substantial amount of time, but it has the base of the X-Men. Here you're just bringing in new characters for the sake of bringing in new characters that no one really knows and no one really wants to get to know very well, because they don't really know your universe very well yet. It's like bringing in the Eternals in the first stage of the MCU. Okay, it's okay, but nobody really cares enough about them to actually bring them in. In the same aspect, you could probably make the same argument for the Guardians of the Galaxy in the original MCU when they come in and they're kind of just like off on their own thing, but they had one of the most important storylines where they're trying to gear the Infinity Stones and Thanos in the same aspect. So maybe this could work. I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying that it's a project for me that I would not go for. Originally, I would stick to what people like and start introducing things slowly. You don't want to rush it. People already have a lot of Batman fever. We've watched a lot of Batman movies. And so if you do that one wrong, people aren't going to like it. If you do this one wrong, people are definitely not going to like it. And so you have to feed them stuff that they do like and then get them hooked to the point where they'll keep coming back for your movies. Apparently here there's something called Paradise Lost, which is a Wonder Woman TV prequel series, which I think is good. I think it's a good idea. It's a great idea. Maybe shouldn't be a TV series. We've seen how that's worked out with Marvel. Marvel is one of the bigger ones that I can think of because it is their direct competitors. But you can see the stats of a lot of the shows of Marvel. Most people don't watch them. She-Hulk, well, that was a bad show, so let's just not go too much into She-Hulk. But Moon Knight, a good show, wasn't seen by as many people as they would see the bigger movies like Black Widow, which wasn't as good. And if they would have put Moon Knight in the big stage, maybe wouldn't done as well as Black Widow because she already has that name that's kind of like correlated to the Avengers and to the MCU. I just think that doing a show early on in this, and it's a character that people really like, if they don't watch it, they might not be as liking of the character. Like I said, a lot of this is just my speculation, and we still have time to see what is actually going to happen. The next one is Booster Gold, okay? This is a character that I really like. I do like him in the comics a lot. He does a lot of good stuff. He's a very interesting character, but I don't see how he fits early on for people that are wanting to get to know your universe. So something that I will always say that Marvel did very well is their introduction of characters. And even the first Man of Steel movie, you start off slowly, you start off building up the characters that people are gonna like, the main characters. And Booster Gold is a good one. But kind of like Iron Man, he was a bigger name already. Spider-Man, bigger name already. Captain America, they're the big important characters of the series, and I feel like right now we're kind of undermining the good characters to try to give some of the ones in the back a bit more space, which obviously that's good, but not for the beginning. You put that around the middle, you put it around the middle beginning-ish. When you're at the beginning, you have to be very careful that every project lands. Because if you don't, you'll basically be like just writing the death sentence of the project that follows. That's the way that I see it, and that's the way that a lot of people already see it. The next one is Creature Commandos, I think. It's something to do with Amanda Waller. No, that's just a different subsection. Never mind. So it has to do with Amanda Waller and her. She's apparently going to get a show, which I don't really... It's an animated series about Waller. Oh, wow. Again, shows. People don't really see the continuity with the shows and the movies because they don't want to see it, and because they usually just come out in subscriptions that you have to pay for. A lot of people don't watch these shows because they don't want to, like, for example, with a lot of the Marvel shows, you have to pay whatever the subscription is to Disney Plus just to watch the shows and the movies that you love. But you can go to the movie theater for a similar price, but it's a better and bigger experience to go to the movie theater and watch a movie and then come out a lot happier than to go into your house and instead of watching a movie on Netflix that's already way more interesting, you decide to watch Waller. Again, another character that I do think very important, very good, but I think that it's one that you could go kind of putting in slowly.
What do you mean by that?
Amanda Waller is one that works for Argus, or kind of just have her like kind of coming in. It's not directly, yeah, Amanda Waller did this, Amanda Waller did that. They kind of introduce Amanda Waller, and then she becomes an important character that has something to do. I feel like just bringing her in, making her have an important show. Again, not too big. Obviously, I think that there's going to be another Peacemaker show, and here it says it. Peacemaker, I'm working on Superman, so we can't do Peacemaker 2. So apparently they can't do Peacemaker 2 right now because he's working on Superman. But Peacemaker Season 2 is going to be... The first season was great. It was edgy, it was funny, it was great. When, again, like I said, when starting a new universe... it's good what they're doing with the Peacemaker show because it's already one that hit well. It's a character that people already like. And so Peacemaker is good. I can see that one going far, and I can see people liking that. People like the show. It's going to go far. The last show is Lanterns, and it's one that I could have seen two ways of doing it. The show version is fine. The only issue with shows is that with the Green Lantern, you're going to need a lot of CGI and a lot of visual and practical effects. And for shows and stuff, people kind of like cheaping out on them a bit more because obviously, why are you going to spend millions and billions of dollars on a show when it's not a movie that it's going to generate you as much revenue as the movie? And I can understand that, but bringing in Green Lantern as a movie character, again, like I'm being very redundant because it's the same idea. You're bringing in a very important character now as a TV show. Kind of the same thing as Wonder Woman, my same exact issue that I had with it. They're going to bring in Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, which I think is going to be good. And they're going to make it into a detective show, which I think is going to be very interesting. We don't usually see Green Lantern as a detective. He's usually like that witty superhero that has like the willpower thing. So it's very great. I can't wait to see it because I really do like Green Lantern. Green Lantern is a great superhero for me. And he is someone that's important enough that people might want to watch his show. And so I do have a lot more hopes for Green Lantern than I do for the Waller series and that I do for other things that they're going to bring in there. However, again, you're introducing him through a show when you're already going to have Superman, hopefully Supergirl, and Batman in the universe. So now you're bringing in a superhero through a TV show. You gotta make sure that it's good and that people want to watch it and that people understand the continuity, because if not, you're just neglecting a lot of the new fans and a lot of the like OG fans. A lot of the people that already know a lot about the comics might not want to stick around because it might not be too good. You have to have a good balance, and I feel like it's gonna be very hard for them to do it with this. And I'm not doing this to be a hater. Honestly, I love the DC universe and I love Superman, Batman. The Flash is one of my favorite superheroes of all time. I love this, and I don't mean to be a hater. I just mean to see it in a way that hopefully everything that I said is wrong, and then they come up and surprise me out of nowhere and I eat my own words, and now everything is good because they have a good functioning universe. I don't see that happening as of right now. Obviously, I could be wrong. Like I said, I hope that it goes right because I really want to see good DC projects. Like after what we had before, like we had a great Superman and then everything just went downhill. I don't want that to go wrong again. Okay, so hopefully this goes well. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a bit. Hope you guys have enjoyed. See you all in the next one. Stay safe.